Good evening, YouTube. You guys are now watching another segment of TheCaliEffect, King of Games. And today, we're going to be watching an epic matchup. This matchup is pretty freaking great. It's going to be against Shaddoll Dinosaur and Odd Eyes Pendulum Dragon. Now, Odd Eyes Pendulum Dragon is a really competitive deck. And if you guys want to see the deck profile of Odd Eyes Pendulum Dragon, then go ahead and give this video a like. Let's try to get to 150 likes. That way, we know you guys appreciate the video and want to see more. Also, if you want to see more duel videos from TheCaliEffect, destroy that subscribe button and go ahead and Odd Eyes Arc Pendulum Dragon that notification bell, because we just too strong. Now, Xander's going to be starting off with the Duelist Alliance Curtain Raiser combo, allowing him to search an Odd Eyes Arc Pendulum Dragon and special summon Curtain Raiser to a side of the field. Then he's going to follow up with a Dark Worm play to add Supreme King Gate 0 from his deck to his hand. And I'm going to have to tell you guys, no deck uses Supreme King Gate 0 better than this deck, and we'll be able to explain it a little later into the video. He's going to go ahead and link summon with both his monsters to make Electromite, and Electromite's a pretty pivotal card for almost every Pendulum deck. Being able to put cards from your deck into your extra deck, add cards from your extra deck to your hand, and draw cards upon your card's destruction is just really good. It allows you to replenish and gain resources all in one. To be honest with you guys, I think that this card should have been a hard once per turn all around, but you know, come on, you got to make that money. Next, he's going to follow up with a Supreme King Gate 0 and destroy it with his Electromite. That's going to add a Odd Eyes Pendulum Dragon, and then he's going to trigger, Astrograph Sorcerer, but not after drawing a card. Astrograph Sorcerer's effect is going to trigger, and it's going to add another Supreme King Gate 0 from his deck to his hand, and now he's going to start setting up with Scales, and we're going to start talking about the card that he's going to set up with first. Oh, not before terraforming for that Sky Iris, because Sky Iris is pretty good for this deck. He is going to set up Scales, and Arc Pendulum Dragon is a card I want to highlight. When an Odd Eyes card is destroyed, he gets to special summon one Odd Eyes monster from his deck to a side of the field, so you guys are going to have to watch out for that effect. And then we're going to turn around and highlight another card, Supreme King Gate 0. So that card is also a really good card. It allows him to destroy cards on the side of the field, to special summon a dragon or synchro monster from his extra deck. Now, granted, its attack and defense becomes 0, but that really doesn't matter. Upon the destruction of Gate 0, he gets to place himself in the scale, and then he gets to trigger his Odd Eyes Arc Pendulum Dragon since the card was destroyed. Now, faithfully, I have the Ash Blossom and Joyous Spring, but imagine if he were able to get off those effects, he would be able to make a monstrous board that I just could not stop. And being able to break his board was with an Ash Blossom and Joyous Spring is very fortunate me. Seeing that Ash Blossom and Joyous Spring isn't as powerful as it used to be, but it's still a really good card. He's going to make Odd Eyes Absolute Dragon, and then use Absolute Dragon and Electromite to special summon Odd Eyes Vortex Dragon and a Deco Talker. And I also think that this is a great time to highlight Odd Eyes Absolute Dragon, because this is another card that does so well inside of this deck, better than any other deck. Basically, what its effect is when it's summoned, he gets to bounce a card on the opponent's field to the hand, but even more importantly, he gets to negate the activation of a spell, trap, or monster effect by returning a card from his extra deck to his deck. So basically, he gets to replenish his resources to make a deck. And I think Xander's misplay might have been not using the Sky Iris to destroy his Supreme King Gate 0 to add a Odd Eyes Fusion to make the second Vortex Dragon. I think I'm gonna make him pay for that by summoning Orpheus Scorpio. Let's highlight that card. Had it not been negated, it would have been able to special summon Darlington Cobra to my side of the field to add Shaddoll Fusion, which probably wouldn't have got its effect off, but then that follows up with the big evolution pill. Since Scorpio was allowed to send a dinosaur monster from the deck to the graveyard as costs, I can banish the Scorpio and the soul-eating Oviraptor for Ultimate Conductor Tyranno. Now, Ultimate Conductor Tyranno is going to use his effect, destroying Shaddoll Hedgehog to flip all of his monsters from face up to face down defense position, and then that triggers the Shaddoll Hedgehog to add a Shaddoll monster from my deck to my side of the field. So now Xander is in a terrible position. Had he summoned the monster, the second Vortex Dragon, I think I probably would have lost. I'm not sure if there was really much else I could have done, but now since the Ultimate Conductor Tyranno can attack each one of his monsters once, I'm going to attack every single one, sending them to the graveyard as well as the Decode Talker to the graveyard. Now, here's where a slight misplay comes along. The monster was sent to the graveyard through the effect of Ultimate Conductor Tyranno. It wasn't destroyed, but he's going to special summon another monster anyways, and since I've already ended my turn, I completely just blanked out and let him summon the monster, but nonetheless, it's still a really good game, and Ultimate Conductor Tyranno is a boss monster for a reason, allowing itself to basically run over almost any board that can be flipped face down. So he's going to use Sky Iris effect to destroy his Supreme King Gate 0 to add Odd-Eyes Pendulum Dragon from his deck to his hand. It's going to be pretty interesting to see what he could do to make a comeback, seeing that Ultimate Conductor Tyranno is a very, very good card. Now he's going to he's going to special summon Astrograph Sorcerer to add another Supreme King Gate 0, or possibly nothing from his deck to his hand. And then he's going to wonder what he's going to do. He's going to go ahead and make Electromite to his side of the field. Electromite's going to be a pretty powerful card from him. He's going to use the effect of Electromite to place another card from his deck to his extra deck, thinking about what he's going to do. Wondering when I'm going to use the effect of Ultimate Conductor Tyranno, because this is getting kind of late into the combo stage. He's going to go ahead and add Astrograph Sorcerer. Next, he's probably going to activate a Scale. No, he's going to destroy the Sky Iris to add to Astrograph Sorcerer. Then summon the Astrograph Sorcerer. Unfortunately, I don't think he's going to be able to gain the effect of Astrograph Sorcerer either, because how this prototype deck was built. Next, he's going to activate Odd-Eyes Pendulum Dragon to the Scale, and now we can Pendulum summon 2 monsters. And CaliEffect, if there was ever a time to use cards, to flip cards face down, it'd probably be now. He's going to use Supreme King Gate 0 to destroy his Arc Pendulum Dragon, or his Pendulum Dragon, and then his Arc Pendulum Dragon is going to chain, special summoning more monsters to his side of the field. This is really just to show, if you guys were not using something to counter this, it's going to make a board that will ruin you. As you guys can see, even without his free searches, he was still able to make a huge board. And fortunately for me, I used Ultimate Conductor Tyranno to flip all of his monsters face down at the right time, preventing him from making any additional link, fusion, or synchro plays if he ever had a tuner to his side of the field. And that's pretty much going to sum up his turn. Ultimate Conductor Tyranno by itself is able to clean up the game, being able to attack all of his monsters in defense and inflict 1,000 damage for each monster destroyed in defense. But to add more insult to injury, I'm going to use Squamata to send Dragon to the graveyard to destroy the Arc Pendulum Dragon. And that's going to be pretty much it. I think he's going to draw for the Electromite. We're not 100% sure if he already drew, but doesn't matter. He's going to draw for the Electromite unless he has something like a Raigeki or even Dark Hole. While it would clear his entire board, it would get rid of the Ultimate Conductor Tyranno, seeing that he only has, not enough life points to pay for the Ultimate Conductor Tyranno's effects. So I don't think that there's anything much else he's going to do. Hoping to draw the Odd-Eyes Fusion probably would have been his best bet. Ultimate Conductor Tyranno is going to attack to every single one of his monsters, and that's going to be enough to create a game situation. Going into game 2, we're going to see how Xander feels going first again, and can the Odd-Eyes deck consistently make the Vortex board with double Vortex Decode Talker. That's going to be pivotal to seeing if this deck is genuinely competitive, and then more importantly, how does Shaddoll feel going second? Now, we know it does have a card in Shaddoll Fusion, which a card will highlight a little later into the game, but how is it able to handle double Vortex Decode? Xander's going to set up pretty nicely with an Astrograph Sorcerer plus a Time Gazer Magician, and use both of those monsters without committing his normal summon to special summon Electromite. Now, Electromite's going to add Odd-Eyes Arc Pendulum Dragon, just another way to search it from your deck to your extra deck, which is pretty cool. And we're going to see exactly what he does to sum up this board. He's going to go ahead and probably activate some Scales. Yes, he's going to activate Supreme King Gate 0, destroy the Gate 0 to add the Arc Pendulum Dragon, and then draw a card. So he's in a pretty good shape to be able to make a huge board. Looking at his extra deck, he has Astrograph Sorcerer, Chronograph Sorcerer, Time Gazer Magician, as well as the Supreme King Gate 0 in his extra deck, which is a pretty important card for the deck. He's going to go ahead and activate Arc Pendulum Dragon and Pendulum Dragon in his extra deck, and Pendulum Summon all monsters that he can to his side of the field, which is going to include an Astrograph Sorcerer, or looks like it's going to include an Astrograph Sorcerer, Supreme King Gate 0, and possibly 2 more additional monsters, Time Gazer Magician, Time Gazer Magician, and as well as nothing else. He's going to use the effect of his Supreme King Gate 0 to destroy his Arc Pendulum Dragon. Unfortunately for him, there's no Ash Blossom and Joyous Spring, so he's going to go ahead and special summon a Synchro monster that happens to be a Pendulum monster from his extra deck to his side of the field, and Odd Eyes Dissolver. Now, normally with this hand, or with this board, you necessarily can't do anything with it, but I see a way for him to make double Vortex plus the Decode Talker, so it's going to be pretty nasty what he's going to be able to do with this board. He still hasn't committed to his normal summon, so we're looking at a pretty good situation for him, and I think he's going to use both his Odd Eyes monsters to make a Absolute Dragon, and then use the Absolute Dragon plus the Electromite to make the Decode. And then, no, he's just going to go ahead and use those monsters to make a second Electromite. And then that Electromite's going to place another monster from his extra deck to his side of the field, trying to figure out what exactly he's going to do, and probably just loading up on that extra deck. Pretty important, to be able to have a loaded extra deck for double Vortex. He's going to use Electromite's second effect to destroy the Gate 0 to add Astrograph from his deck to his hand, and then summon another Astrograph to his side of the field. Right now, he's just swag, and that's going to add another Gate 0 from his deck to his hand. And now, since he has a pretty full extra deck, I'm going to go ahead and read the Odd Eyes Dissolver, and that allows him to fusion summon, so he's going to be pretty well off for making that double Vortex Dragon, and not the Absolute Way. Get it? Absolute Way? Absolute Vortex? Okay, whatever. He is going to be looking at one of his options. I think that his best option would be to summon the monster, which we saw was an Odd Eyes Mirage, and then use the effect of Dissolver to fuse for the first one, and then use the other two to fuse for the Vortex. Now he's going to use both Electromite. No, is he going to use both Electromite? Yes, he's going to use both Electromite to link summon into a Decode Talker. So no, it looks like he might be going about it a little bit more differently than what I would have expected. And then he's going to go ahead and use the effect. No, use anything. He's going to normal summon the Odd Eyes Mirage, and then fusion summon using Vortex, or I'm sorry, using Perform of Odd Eyes Dissolver. No, he's not. Hold on, we're thinking a little bit. We're thinking. We're going to have to backtrack and to see what he's going to do. It looks like it's a pretty complicated board, so I'm not going to stress him. The fact that he does have Decode Talker on the field, no, it looks like he's going to go ahead and take the Decode Talker back and use both of those monsters for Underclock Taker. So I guess you could say that it was just a slight bit of a misplay that he had, because he still needed to get Vortex Dragon to the field. So he's going to use both those monsters for Absolute Dragon, and then I think he's going to use the Underclock Taker for the Decode Talker, and then that's going to trigger the Absolute Dragon to special summon a Vortex Dragon to his side of the field, and then he's going to normal summon the Mirage, and then fusion summon with those two. Now, I know you guys are like, oh, Xander cheated, Xander. Look, first of all, Xander's a great player, and secondly, when you're under these lights, when you're on camera, going in front of thousands and thousands of viewers, then of course, you're going to make some mistakes, and we want to give you guys the best video ever. We want to provide you guys the opportunity to see the decks at their best, whether we're playing our best or not completely. So of course we allow some of those plays to be taken back to give you guys what should have happened, as opposed to the misplay, if we can catch it within due time. So I'm going to go ahead and summon Orphan Scorpio, discarding Overreactor again from the deck to the hand, and that's going to special summon Darlington Cobra. Is he going to let the Darlington Cobra go away? Is he going to let it go through? Is he going to allow me to activate Shaddoll, or add Shaddoll Fusion from my deck to my hand? He's going to go ahead and negate the Darlington Cobra, which is probably, I want to think that that was a pretty pivotal piece. I'm going to activate Shaddoll Fusion. Reason being that it was a pivotal piece because I would have had 2 fusion cards in my hand, and I probably would have been able to try to break this board just a little better. He's going to allow the Shaddoll Fusion. I'm going to send the necessary parts to the graveyard. Excuse me. And keep in mind, if I target cards, it's going to be okay, because he's going to have to tribute a Vortex Dragon, which I'm perfectly fine with him tributing to stop one of my card effects. And that will just be one less Vortex to be used against me. I don't think I have any really good targets. This is the time that I just wish Construct wasn't banned. But I'm going to go ahead and send an Overtext Qualtis and a Shaddoll monster from my deck to my hand, triggering both of those monsters' effects. And I'm assuming Qualtis is going to be Chain Link 1 and Beast is going to be Chain Link 2 to secure that I'm going to be able to add Qualtis, or to be able to add the Big Evolution Pill from my deck to my hand. and I'm going to summon Shaddoll Winda under the Decode Talker. Now, I could have summoned it in the extra monster zone, but to be honest with you guys, I don't really think it mattered. Yes, Decode Talker is 3,300 attack, but at the same time, it's like, I mean, if I were able to get off the Ultimate Conductor Tyranno, it wouldn't matter. I would have a free zone on top of that. Or if I were just able to get off the big evolution pill, which he's going to negate. Very smart play. Was trying to draw into my second big evolution pill, seeing that it wasn't once per turn. I'm going to use both the Orphis Scorpio and the Winda to link summon into Underclock Taker to add a Shaddoll Fusion, which means that if he does it, actually I don't know why I did that. It was just like, I already lost, might as well. I mean, it doesn't really matter. And it's back to his turn. Double Vortex plus Decode, just too strong. And he's with the ability to still summon monsters from his hand to his side of the field, seeing that he has a pretty healthy hand, a pretty decently sized hand. He's going to go ahead and activate the Gate 0. And then he is going to activate Wavering Eyes, destroying both of his scales, to probably add another Astrograph Sorcerer from his deck to his hand. Astrograph Sorcerer is going to summon itself, probably adding another Surprise Art Dragon from his deck to his hand. And again, he's in a pretty good situation, being able to make monsters from his extra deck, being able to Pendulum Summon, possibly be able to Pendulum Summon, but more importantly, he looks like he has enough for game. We're going to go ahead and go right into game 3. I'm just going to go ahead and scoop it up. Not really much else to see here, folks. Let's get into that game 3, because yes, Odd Eyes did force that game 3. It's a very competitive deck. So now is the time Shaddolls actually get to go first. And that's going to be pretty huge for Shaddolls, seeing that the deck no longer has to be on the defensive. It can now create an offensive strategy to hopefully be able to stop the opponent. And Shaddoll is no slouch. Again, for the people that want to see the deck profile of these Shaddolls, it's actually a 3-part deck profile where I show you guys 3 different types of dino decks you could build. And for the people that want to see the regular Shaddoll deck profile, go ahead and visit my Patreon for just $1 a month. You guys get to see some exclusive content. And when I mean exclusive, I'm going to start ranking up our game, and we're going to put some really good content on there that you guys are going to love. So I'm going to start off with Soul Eating Overreactor, probably to add Overtext Qualitas from my deck to my hand. And let's go ahead and highlight Qualitas. I know it's a little bit late, but when it's sent to the graveyard by a card effect, you get the special, or you get to add 1 evolution pill from your deck to your hand. Now, Shaddoll Fusion is going to be activated using both Squamata and Qualitas to make a Shaddoll Winda, but then Qualitas is going to add the big pill, and I'm going to use my 1 special summon with the big pill to banish the Qualitas and a Shaddoll monster to special summon Ultimate Conductor Tyranno. So this is the board that you probably want to make going first inside of this deck, mainly because it's just really good. Being able to have a way to prevent your opponent from special summoning, as well as a way to disrupt your opponent's monsters. I think that's pretty much it for Shaddoll Dino, and I'm going to go ahead and pass my turn. Seeing if Xander can break the board, would only be able to special summon once, and the ability to flip all of his monsters face down by destroying 1 monster I control. So that's going to be pretty pivotal to going against any type of deck. Being able to prevent them from special summoning is one huge thing that decks just can't handle, especially going against the new World Challenge Championship deck that won YCS Buchum. Being able to make this board just might ruin their day. Unless they have a Kaiju, they're probably not going to be seeing the light of day, you know, anywhere near between. The Xander's thinking about his options, not really sure if he has too many, unless he has some type of board wipe to clear the Conductor Tyranno, and then a way to make a monster bigger than a Winda. He might not be able to come out of this board alive, and that's what this deck is really good at, creating an anti-meta-like feel for the deck, being able to prevent the opponent from special summoning, or being able to prevent your opponent's extra deck monster's effects from being activated, as well as flipping the other problematic threats to the Winda face down, seeing that it only has 2,200 attack. I think that's really about it. It's nothing else to say. Shaddolls won game 3. Thank you guys so much for watching another segment of the TheCaliEffect. Go ahead and check out one of my videos if you guys are really interested in this channel. Also, shout out to all of my Patreon members, everybody that has bought from me, sold from me, or traded from me. Please like, comment, subscribe, but most of all, enjoy.